I read so many books, y'all. My reading stack now has a dent in it. Which one was the best? Let's talk about it. Howdy, howdy, American Texan here. And if you don't know who I am, I just love comics. I love to talk about comics, and I want a place where we just talk about the stories and the art and the things that we love about it. And in today's video, we're talking about the indies that came out for the week of November 12th. This video is going out a day later than I wanted, but look at this. I read over 15 indie books, some really great ones, and one that stood out above them all, but I wouldn't just recommend it straight off the shelf. So let's get into the books that I read and the books that I enjoyed this week. We'll go over to my table. If any of these that you read, you want to share your comments, thoughts, conspiracies, by all means, hit that chat button down below, leave a comment, and let's nerd out together. All right, let's go look at the books. All right, so I read a ton of books this week, about 15 books. Some of them I don't have here because they were just catch-up books. For example, I read Transformers 25 and 26. And these, though, I do have. I caught up on Conan, Scourge of the Serpent, and Conan, the mainline series. Scourge of the Serpent, I don't think it's as good as Battle of the Blackstone. It's echoing some of it because it is repeating some of the story told across time, except instead of all the characters coming together at the ssame time, they're experiencing things across time. It's 3 parallel stories happening at different time periods, but happening at the same time, kind of timey-wimey stuff. It's still fun, it's still good. I'm not gonna open too much because there are some things that might get you in trouble, but it's good. I don't think it's as good as the mainline Conan, but it is still enjoyable. Then going on to mainline Conan, I finally caught up because again, my issue 24 was behind. We've got the final stories of the Conan and the shapeshifter, I can't remember his name, where the lady is hunting him down, the Tothamon servant or whatever, and they're on the run in the city. Overall, I think it was a pretty good story. Then we got this one shot here from Alex Horley. I think it was Jim Zub and Alex Horley. Man, this thing is gorgeous. You can see here the oil painting style of it. It is just absolutely fantastic. And of course, you gotta be careful flipping through these pages. But you've got old King Conan in a challenge with a stranger. Just an absolute, like, fantastic one shot. If you're not sure if you like Conan or if you would like Conan, issue 25 is definitely the one to check out. Because this is Conan, I think, to a T. And especially as a new reader, this will tell you if you like Conan or not. So I absolutely love this issue. There was some really crazy violence, and I'm glad I opened to that page off camera because I wanted to show you some of the action here. We got him fighting the frost giants, and I'm still working on getting the glare taken out, but man, that just looks fantastic. And then on to the books that came out this week, Conan 26. Wonderful. Again, this one takes place a little bit of that transitional period between Conan the thief and robber versus into Conan the king, so to speak. And so you get to see a little bit of how that transition took place. I think that's where they're going with this, with the Mad King of Aquilonia there. So this was a really great setup, really great action. Again, I'm going to open it off panel just to make sure I don't show anything that shouldn't be shown on YouTube. But really cool little action there. I think the illustrating is fantastic. Yeah, Conan 26, starting that new arc is absolutely a blast. I also enjoyed a lot of these. I just gave 4 out of 5 reviews because they're good stories, they're good art. Nothing really blew me away. We've got Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. This one is a psychotic thriller like no other. Don't be fooled by the cute cartooning here because this is just absolute. It's a morbid read. You can see here a little bit of like almost like a Dexter kind of story. And it's just this old small town America in the 90s. The internet was just coming out. People seemed a little bit more innocent, a little bit more trusting. And things just go way haywire, way quick, and you almost can't believe that this is happening. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees is just what I call it, a morbid curiosity read. She's like Dexter. Everyone thinks she's just a kind lady, but as a matter of fact, she's a serial killer. Absolute morbid read, but a really great read if you're into that kind of thing. Power fantasy is wild. This one is a bottle episode almost. It's really just the characters meeting and talking, but this is just a build-up, a summary of everything that's been happening with one death and then one almost death. And then we realize that there's people trying to exact vengeance. And this is like what would happen if the X-Men really lived in this Nietzsche-esque world, and what happens when the superpowers are the only ones that can keep each other in check, and what conspiracies and things that are building up, and the weaknesses of these superpowers being not just taken advantage of, but also being feared. So it's just a really blast to read. It's not one you can really jump into. Definitely wait for the omnibus if you don't want to get the singles, but this has been a lot of fun to read. I think they're going to end it on 16, and I am totally okay with that. I know a lot of folks want it to continue. In the letters page of the last issue, Kieran Gillen said people really aren't, it's not that sales are bad, but sales are fine. And so I hope that they don't do a Marvel and try to push it until it just dies and then just ends suddenly because there's no more money. Like, just end it on your own terms. I would love to see that, like more like a Mark Miller there. Dick Tracy was pretty good. We got a little international escapade. The cartooning continues to be great. The action's great. You got a little bit more of Dick Tracy dealing with his PTSD from World War I. And I believe it was World War I. And so then you've got another cop doing some investigations. It's a fantastic noir. I love the Summer Sisters as well. They are a really cool pair of villains and a lot of fun to read. And they are just as ruthless, these traditional women in the dresses. So a lot of fun to read. Dick Tracy number 13 was a great read. Transformers, I can see where some people are saying, yeah, there's a little bit of a drop off, but it's still a good book. It's still a lot of fun. And we go into now Dan Mora doing everything, and we've got some fallout with the Autobots and the Decepticons, and there's a lot of character work here. I still have a hard time telling Optimus Prime and Ultra Magus apart, but that's just me, especially when they're talking to each other. Like, I have a hard time telling them apart. But it's still a good read. It's still a lot of fun. There's a lot going on. There's multiple storylines in this. It can be a little bit hard to keep track of, but this issue 26 was better than 25. And we're picking up into the story now, but I can see why some people aren't really caring for this. A little bit of a wild card is American Caper. Now, this is a lot of fun. I got this because I think it said it was written by some of the Grand Theft Auto writing team, and it bleeds that. Because when you first open it up, things like, don't California my Verona, which is a city in Wyoming. We say that in Texas, right? Don't California my Texas. And we get a little bit of it's really a narration, almost like a noir. And you've got this dad, it's like that movie with Bob Odenkirk where he's the normal guy, but he actually has a history in special ops and he has to take down the mafia or whatever. It's like that, without the special agent training, right? He's just a regular guy, but he works as a lawyer, he hates his job, he has a gambling addiction, has a wife who doesn't treat him right, he has kids that don't treat him right. His wife is painted as the alt-right character. She's watching constant TV and eating poorly and yells at her kid. She's watching videos about flat earth and guns and socialism is ruining this country and there's pedos in DC. But on the flip side, you read that and you're like, man, it's just cartooning, caricature, it's really not good. But you flip the page, they do the exact same thing on the other side of the aisle. His daughter is an Antifa girl who goes to college and hates everyone and hates trad women and the patriarchy. It really does a good job of parodying both sides so much. And the book, as you read it, really is a commentary on how no one can get along anymore and everyone just hates everyone and we don't really know why. You get a couple of panels of the lib daughter versus the alt-right mom, and you get a lot of that. And then you get a lot of the companies are ruining the beautiful country. They're taking advantage of the hillside, they're taking advantage of businesses, they're taking advantage of the law and corporations. And it's a really overly done parody. I don't even know if parody is the right word, of just like this, you take everything that's wrong with America, or you take everything that we don't like about America and you amp it up to 11. It's really like that. It may not be your cup of tea. I imagine it's not gonna be a lot of people's cup of tea, but it's very interesting. So I liked it more. When I first started reading, I was like, oh man, I'm not gonna like this. And then I ended up enjoying it. And then as I sat on it, I thought, I like it a lot actually, so I'm gonna keep reading it. So really enjoyed American Caper, but pick of the week for sure, hands down, Redcoat number 15. Now this is one you can't just pick up on your own, because if you just pick it up coming in cold, this is such a boring book. But if you're invested in Simon Pure and you've been with Redcoat for 15 months now, this is an absolute heart warmer. You can see Simon has finally figured out life. He's living the American dream. He started a family and things are actually going well. And the whole time we're just kind of like, when's the shoe gonna drop? When's the shoe gonna drop? And the shoe never really does drop. And then at the end, you get a surprise visitor and it's someone from the first arc of the series, and it's heartwarming, and it's also just raising the stakes a little bit, because now you're not just wondering what's gonna happen to Simon, but now you're worried about what's gonna happen to his family. So Redcoat was an absolute blast. If you're invested in this book emotionally, this is a huge payoff. This is an emotional peak for the series, which makes me worried that now we're gonna get into the emotional valley, right? We've set all the stakes and now we've gotta go down. So those are my reads for the week. Thank you guys for watching. This was an absolute fun week to read. Man, I read almost 30 comic books. I might have read 30 comic books. What books did you read this week? Did you enjoy Conan? Did you check out any of these other books? Let me know. What did you think of Redcoat if you read it? And subscribe. I'll go to the comic shop this week and show you some of the things that I'm reading and pulling and finding on consignment sales, as well as talking about the big two. I'm gonna hopefully have all the videos out. I'm traveling this weekend, but I'll try to get those out in a more timely fashion. I just had so many books to read this week. Thank you guys for watching, and subscribe if you liked the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Adios.